Shit they don't tell you about awakening. Part 3. Why is it so freaking lonely? Where is everybody? Well, let me ask you something. Let's assume that you're a world-class mountain climber. How many others do you think that you would encounter on the summit to Everest? Not many. That's why, because this path is not for the weak, and those that can't hang in the thin air of high truth get weeded out real fast. It's a solitary path that you have to walk alone. And there is a period, particularly in the very beginning of the awakening process, where you are sequestered away from the rest of the world. Whether you have a falling out with your family, you no longer gel with your friends, you move to a new city, there's something happens and you're alone. And that's required. Seeing how the process of awakening is the knowing of the true self, awareness can't be distracted in the ways that it had been formerly occupied. You have to be sequestered away.
Shadow work is mandatory in the spiritual journey, and you cannot skip it because the path to aligning with God and spiritual ascension is a path of healing, which is only done through shadow work. If you don't know what that is, shadow work is a spiritual practice of healing through shedding light on your shadow, which is the parts of yourself you don't love and repressed due to trauma. Now, time and space is a human construct that does not actually exist. Every time you experience trauma in the first 7 years of your life, it becomes a negative distortion on your conscious timeline. So energetically, this distortion will keep bringing you back in time to that traumatic moment, since past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously. This means that you will keep repeating patterns caused by your shadow if you don't literally go back in time to solve this trauma. And yes, we can go back in time, but not physically. We do so with our consciousness and vibration. In fact, going back in time is an essential part of shadow work so we can reprogram the memories that created the shadow aspects of.
Yo, I'm about to play for y'all. I love her for making it. But when you watch it, you gotta keep these 3 things in mind. Look, number 1, religious people say that God is up above in the sky, right? Keep that in mind. Number 2, before religion came into play, every single civilization on our planet worshiped the sun as God. They wrote that the sun is the physical manifestation of God in this realm. Keep that in mind. Number 3, right now if you go look up images of Jesus, in most of the pictures, he's gonna have the sun in the background. Majority of the time, it's right behind his head.
Hey babies, I'm back with a quick one right now. Mama got some shit I need to do today, but I want to talk to y'all something about this Sunday. A lot of y'all dressing up, putting your wigs on and putting on your best Sunday outfits, and you're going into these houses of worship, and you're worshiping God today. Called the Son of God. You know, there was a time they used to call us the people of the sun. Then they said we were sun worshipers back in the day. But we wasn't worshiping no sun. You done took the U, capped it off and put an O, and now you got us all worshiping your son. You know, back in the day they told us that the body was the temple. That's your church, and God live in you. But now they want you to worship some God outside yourself, living up in the sky, sitting on the throne with a bunch of naked babies around it. Y'all seen them pictures? They drew a God up there with all them babies with no clothes on, with no mama around. Makes you wonder. But let me ask you something, baby. Let me tell you, as long as you don't think God live in you, and live outside you, they gonna harness all your spiritual power, baby. Them churches are harnessing sinners to pull all your energy in. And your pastors and your priests, they all went to them schools of theology, supposed to be. Well, who taught them about God? Did they look like them? Who wrote the curriculum about all these organized religions that they force-fed everybody? Got you bowing down to their symbols and their holidays, a lot of certain star systems and things. It's all spell work, baby. Do I believe the Bible? I believe there's a lot of truth in that book, but also some of us old girls know that book was used for a lot of spell casting, full of astrology and numerology with your 12s and your 3s and your 6s and your 7s. Mama gonna give you some breadcrumbs, but it's up for you babies to go ahead and do the homework. But I'm gonna ask you a question, all of y'all. Rocking your symbols of executions around your neck. Yeah, because when Jesus was hanging on that cross, they had a bow to the left of him and to the right of him. They was killing people that way. Symbol of executions. Let me ask you something. They would have killed that boy by hanging him. Would you all be wearing nooses around your neck? Makes you wonder.
It's airy fairy, it's light and love. No, man. It's fucking darkness and pain. That is the only way you get to the light. You get to heaven. At least in this realm. And there are people who disagree with that. It doesn't have to be so heavy and dark. Alright, cool, man. Cool. In my experience, you're in denial of reality.
Yeah. Oh, and you see that all over the spiritual community in particular.
It is so not talked about enough. Dating after a spiritual awakening. It is so difficult, and not in the aspect of realm of I don't love myself or I don't think I'm lovable. It's quite literally that it's so hard to find somebody that is, I wouldn't say on your level, but in a sense, yes, that understands, that aligns with you, that will get it, right? They will get the conspiracies you're talking about. They will get just everything that you're talking about and resonate with you in some way. The way you eat, what you listen to, how you don't want to do anything that's normal to anybody else, how you just want to go on a hike, how you just want to go outside and sit in the sun and let that feed you for the day. All these other weird things that come with awakening that are very much outside of the normal. Yeah, it's very difficult out here. And for those of you that have found your perfect person that is awakened just like you, so happy for you. But for the majority of us, is it difficult?
The scariest part of awakening is that you can no longer be the old you. You can no longer unsee what you have seen. And many times what happens is things have to change. People in your relationships have to change. Your career and your work life has to change. The things that you find passion in have to change. Why? Because awakening is a spiritual awakening. Awakening is a process of you no longer being this third dimension version of you. And that gets scary. It gets scary because the entire life that you have constructed was constructed from the old you, the fear-based you, the scared you. I'm here to encourage you if you're going through this right now, and let you know that you have the courage within you to overcome any of the obstacles and challenges that you're facing when it comes to your awakening journey. And the more and more that you heal, the more and more that you release, and the more and more that you heal, and the more and more that you release the control of the mind and the ego, the more and more that you allow yourself to tap into your heart, your intuition, your true power. And what I can promise you is this: life gets 100 times more abundant, 100 times easier, and 100 times more in flow when you have awakened. Once you face that fear, once you let go of what no longer serves you, and once you step into the new you and your new life.
Remember, you are watching things work out for you. There is no waiting. You are always observing how everything works out in your favor. There's no missed opportunities. There's no failures. Because when you know everything's working out for you, you don't judge anything. You don't shame anything. There's never losses. It's only watching the movie unfold of you winning. But the problem is people are so quick when a little challenge, an obstacle happens to say, oh my God, it didn't work out. Oh my God, my manifestation didn't get here. Stop it. It's all part of the story. You are watching it work out. You are watching it be better than you thought. The story is that everything is always working out. Even when it looks like it's not, it's always working out. In fact, it's working out better than you thought. So watch things work out. Watch you get your dreams. Watch you get your manifestations. It's that easy.
And like spiritual is not about using crystals, reading tarot, or using sage. New Age spirituality has almost forgotten that spiritual awakenings are not all love and light. In fact, they can be quite terrifying and challenging to many. Spirituality is all about evolution, so that means when you spiritually awaken, all this dark stuff that you were hiding will come to the surface so you can work on it. It also means that you will lose friends that are not aligned with your highest good. Spirituality is all about reconnecting with your divinity, and in order to do so, your current identity must dismantle in front of your eyes. Your life plans may radically change and make you feel unstable because everything you were working on no longer matters to you. Real spirituality doesn't come from anything outside of yourself. It comes from you learning how to consistently dismantle stories you've told yourself about who you are. That way you can tap into who you really are, which is Source. If you want to tap into your highest spiritual potential, check out the top of my page.
Spirituality, nobody can teach it to you. You need to get the fundamentals of any books, any spiritual system. You can get the fundamentals and then look at inside of you and then determine how you are going to use the fundamental principles to improve your life. But nobody can tell you, you must pray every Friday, you must do this every Saturday, you must do that every Sunday. No, because what is good for you is not necessarily what I need. You may need to go into yourself and meditate 100 times a day. And even the same person will not need it the same way all the time. You, in certain circumstances, you need to be meditating and finding all your forces, gathering all your forces continuously certain days. And then other days you may not even think about it. It doesn't mean you don't pray. Because everything you say, if you're living your own life, if you are who you are and you know who you are and you live working towards realizing your mission in life, every sound of it out of your mouth is a prayer. Every gesture you make is a prayer. Every dance you dance is a prayer. And when you make love with somebody, you are praying. If you know who you are and this person knows who they are.
That's right. That's right.
There isn't anything that you do that is not a prayer when you know who you are.
People, places, and things you're voting. That is at a spiritual awakening. You certainly can relate to the feeling insane part because you all of a sudden become very disassociated with your current life, friends, family, people, places, and things, your vocation, because your frequency has changed. When you are awakening, you're stepping into a higher state of conscious awareness. That's a raising in frequency. And that becomes very vibrationally dissonant from everything that you originated from a lower frequency. Now, that's not to say that the lower frequency is bad in any way. It just means that you've kind of outgrown that stage in your life. And now you are being updated and upgraded, and you're out of alignment with the old